This is Tim DeLeo, go by DeLeo56 and try5.com. Okay, one of the things that I'm going to show you how to do is to remove the shafts from your upper control arms so you can send them out to be powder coated. So to get to the powder coating, basically what you need to do is remove the shafts and the bushings, ball joints, and get them stripped down to bare metal. You can see I have a set here that I'm working on stripped down to bare metal that are going to go out to powder coat. So to do that, we need to take our existing arms off the car, take the ball joints off, and get them ready for prep. So let's get started and I'll show you what to do. Okay, let's get started on the arms. So I'm going to be using some gloves here. I'm going to put the gloves on, and I'm going to be using eye protection and of course my try5.com apron. So let's get everything ready and we'll go from there. Also have safety glasses. You always want to be safe. So what we've got here is we've got a upper control arm, and you can see that we've got the shaft, we've got the bushings, we've got the washers and the bolts that are in there. Now this thing doesn't spin right now, it's pretty much locked into place. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use my Craftsman with a 9/16 on here, and I'm going to undo these all the way out. Okay, so they don't have to come all the way up, but basically what you want to do is you want to have this to where it spins around on here to start. So I'm going to pull these off for the reason of pushing out the bushings and to not wreck it. So the first thing I want to do is I want to pull off the bolt, pop off the actual washer, and sometimes they're going to be on there really hard. So feel free to use anything you want to knock these things off. So I've got those off right now. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to push this through and push the bushing out. Then we're going to flip it over and we're going to do the same thing. So again, what I want to do is I want to make sure that I pull all of these washers and all this other stuff off. And these have been on for a while, so it's a little bit hard. I can leave the bolt in there if I want to, but I'm going to put the bolt in to push down the shaft. So again, the shaft is going to push the other bushing out, then I'm going to flip it over and then push it the other way around. I'm going to be using this insert, and this insert is something that Farm Boy sent me. He's one of our members, and what this insert does is it goes onto here like this and allows it to not compress down the A-arm or the control arm. So I'm going to put this on here like this, and I'm going to use my Harbor Freight 12-ton, $150 press to go through and pull this out. So I'm going to put it like this. I'm going to get everything lined up, and you kind of got to hold it yourself there to keep it because it'll tilt and move around like that. So I can go through and put it down. So what I'll do is I'll go through and I'll jack it down. You can adjust your thing accordingly, and I'll probably speed this up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this all the way down, and we're going to push the bushing out down the bottom. So again, if you want to see it from the other side, I've got this thing in here, sitting in here ready to go, and I've got it sitting on my little supports here. So I will push this out. So let's go through and do it this way, speed up the camera. Okay, as I get close, I'm going to take my time now and line up. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push down. I'm going to keep some pressure on it, and it's hard to tell, but you can see the shaft is actually moving down. So I'm going to stand up out of the way, make sure I'm being safe, and I'm going to push down and push that bushing out the bottom. And you just heard that little click? That's actually the bushing pushing out of the bottom. So you can see that I have my bushing here, and my bushing has now come out. So this actually slid out of there. So I'm done with the bushing. It's a piece of junk now, so I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to pull my bolt out of here. I'm going to flip the whole entire assembly upside down, and I'm going to put the the bolt inside the top assembly. So now I've got it in. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this bushing out. So to do that, and actually you can see it this way when I do it. We'll line this up here, adjust a little bit more. So now you'll actually be able to see it hopefully better as it does this way. And again, I use this on here to make sure that the A-arm doesn't compress on itself or get bent. That's on there. So I push this on there, I keep everything lined up myself, and I push the bushing out. Sometimes you want to adjust it a little bit better. So what I did was that I started to feel a little bit of pinching that I didn't like. So you kind of have to keep it centered and go from there. So now that it's centered again, I'll use my $150 press from Harbor Freight. I stand up out of the way, and I'm pushing the bushing out. And you'll actually hear it clunk when it pushes out. And you can hear there that it pushed out. So that was a little more violent than I'm used to, but that's okay. I pull my tool off, and I now have my unit out. So now I have this ready to go. So I'm not going to talk for the other one, but I'll basically follow the same procedure on there. I'll put that out. Again, I don't need these bushings anymore, but it's kind of nice. And then what I'll do is I'll put everything back together so I don't lose it. These I will use a grinding wheel, and I'll take these down to bare metal, and then I'll use aluminum caliper paint, and I'll paint these so they look real nice, and then I'll get the copper nuts like you see that are on here before. So let's go through it again. So to get this loose, I use my tool, do it like that. In fact, what I can do is completely pull them off. Everything ready to go. Got this. I'll put one back on there for now. I will grab my insert, put my insert on from the back. They only go on one way, but you want to make sure that you get it all nice and tight. I'll use my cheapy Harbor Freight for the clunk. And you can see it dropped out. That actually was probably a little more, which you'll get, where this actually went all the way through and out. So I'll put it back in to push the bushing out. Hopefully this is all showing up on camera. Put this back on. Use the other side. Use my cheapo fixturing here. Line it up and do the same thing. Make sure my fingers are out of the way. And pop goes the weasel, and I'm all done. So again, I've got my upper control arms ready to go. Kids crying across the street. I use my tool here, and I have my control arms. Now the control arms are here ready to go, and except for the crying kid across the street. The control arms are all set up like this, so you've got them all ready to go. They're all the same numbers, so you just want to make sure that when you go to install them, that you install them with the numbers up, facing the way it is. So the number will go up like this. You put the new bushings in, and you'll be all set. So there we go. Got my arms ready to go. 10 minutes, I'm done. No grinding, no drilling, no anything else. And my arms are ready to go to powder coat. So again, Tim DeLeo with Tri5.com. I go by DeLeo56. Hope you enjoyed the video.